Welcome, Taylor, to the CAS Celerity in 5. Thanks for joining us. This series is designed to spotlight people doing kick-ass stuff in the accounting industry. Before we jump in, Taylor, could you give us a quick overview of your firm, team size, services, and revenue range, if you care to share?
Yeah. So I own a firm called Celerity Accounting. We've been in business for 3.5 years. I have 3 full-time bookkeepers. We're currently hiring a senior accountant, and I have an operations person as well. Revenue-wise, we are MRR right around mid-60s right now. We had some churn for our first time last month, and we're gross margin 60% roughly, bottom line 25% roughly. Services, that's a good one. We do outsourced accounting services for mid-market businesses, and we don't necessarily have an industry niche, but we focus on QBO and NetSuite.
Awesome. Yeah, NetSuite's a good one. All right, before we jump into the 5 questions, since this series is powered by FinDaily, a tool built to automate financial digest of your numbers, how often do you check your firm's numbers?
I check my bank accounts probably every other day, I would say. And then I check my financial statements, I would say maybe once a week.
It's way better than me. I'm a cobbler's kid over here. Although I will say I got my financials and looked at them done yesterday. So that was nice.
Nice. Yeah. I have a lot going on right now. So I feel like I'm in a position where I need to kind of stay on the pulse.
Nice. So what is the overarching goal or mission driving your firm?
The overarching goal or mission, I guess, is to, when I worked at BDO before I started this firm, and I hated the types of clients where we just churn out financials and it would be kind of painful and they wouldn't even care and look at their financial statements. So I wanted to build a firm where we kind of remove the pain around the accounting processes, which we've all kind of onboarded new clients and seen the crazy stuff that the previous accountant was doing and the bad work. And I just really wanted to do solid work and give solid financials to business owners so they could make good decisions and make it less painful. And also try and automate as much as possible and kind of use technology as a way to provide more value rather than just the financial statements and just a P&L and balance sheet on the 15th or 20th of the month. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know that looks at. So on the topic of automation, what currently is the tech tool that saves you the most time?
Tech tool that saves me the most time probably is Missive. And that's an email app, if you're familiar. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but basically it's like Front or Superhuman. So it's a consolidated email app. So you can share with your whole team emails. So we work with bigger businesses like 20 to 50 million a year in revenue. So they need their own accounting email typically, or like an AP email. And I can plug in their email and basically share it with my team. And we could do task management, delegate stuff really well in there, and assign specific emails to people to deal with things. It's a really good way to manage lots of clients and lots of emails in one place. So that probably saves me the most time, I would say.
Nice. What is your favorite KPI, either internally or externally, and why?
Yeah, I'm going to go internal for this one, and it's the direct labor efficiency ratio. And it is because I've been trying to time the perfect time to hire somebody with a pipeline coming in, with potential churn, and with pulling myself out as the owner of the business as well, pulling myself out of client work. So we've been really kind of evaluating our expected efficiency ratio over the next 6 months to kind of see where I can pull myself out and hire the right person to kind of get in there and take client work for me.
Awesome. That's my favorite external one, because I feel like in advisory, the number one question we are answering is, when should I hire and fire? And so I'm a big fan of Greg Crabtree. I was fortunate for him to be a mentor of mine, and I highly recommend everyone read Simple Numbers if you're interested in the advisory space. So on to the next one. When you're stuck on either a client decision, growth challenge, or even just having a rough day, what do you do to get unstuck?
I work out. That's my big thing, I would say. I work out or I cook. something elaborate that takes like an hour or two. Those are my big stress relievers where I can like disconnect from the work, disconnect from sending 500 emails every 2 hours, and kind of like it forces me to kind of fully disconnect when I go run or I go work out or I go cook something.
I have not done, I love to cook, and it's been a while since I've cooked something elaborate, and I totally forgot that it's a really good way of kind of spacing out. You got a favorite dish?
A favorite dish? Oh my gosh, ramen.
Okay. I
Traditional
love ramen.
ramen. Yeah, like make the broth the day before and spend like 12 hours making the broth and like the whole thing. It takes forever. And that's actually what I did on my last birthday. Like my wife just bought all the ingredients and I just like spent a day and a half making ramen and it was the best.
Awesome. What type of broth?
The type of broth? Tonkatsu.
Nice. All right. Last one. What's one thing you wish you did sooner in your firm?
That's a good question. I think if I could go back in time, I would probably hire someone a little bit more senior earlier who could take work and also train the staff with the work that we do, because it's kind of fallen on me in a big way over the last 3.5 years to kind of train people, to get them up to speed, to kind of get them used to working with multiple clients. And I think had I had some help there, I could have spent my dollars a little bit more efficiently to pull myself out of the client work faster than I have so far.
Awesome. All right, Taylor, this is your time. If you have, an additional tip you want to share, an experience or something you're working on that you think others should hear about.
Can I'll give a tip and I want to talk about my newsletter probably.
Go.
So, and this applies to my newsletter because this was actually, depending on when you post this was the last one I sent out. I think the accounting space is changing a lot right now. And the CFO, whether you're a CFO or whether you're, doing the bookkeeping or the accounting work, I think it's important to think about with technology and AI, it's getting so much easier to provide the value that we provide. And so it makes us a lot faster. And I think it's going to be hard to be competitive in the future unless we're packing more value into what we serve our clients with. So something like a Fin Daily, where you're providing more communication around their bank balances and their QuickBooks reporting, or so little things like that with like Fin Daily and proactive communication, I think are going to go a long way in the next couple of years. So I would challenge anyone that's listening to this to focus a little bit more on proactive accounting versus reactive, because I think there's going to be a big disruption in the next couple of years because it's so easy to provide our services these days, at least for the smaller businesses. And we're going to be so much more efficient. So we might as well pass that on to the client. And then the newsletter. So that's something I recently wrote about, and I do want to plug the Net Effect, which is my new newsletter where I'm trying to kind of talk about topics that are actually useful and less corporate. A lot of accountants talk about, the same things over and over again. I'm trying to be outside of that a little bit. And then I also want to talk about my experiences building my business and kind of in a no bullshit kind of way. Sorry if I'm not supposed to swear on this.
You can cuss all day on my
And
podcast.
I just hate the fluff. I hate the stuff like that. And I really want to be raw and kind of talk about the things that maybe no one else talks about on the newsletter. So that's the focus. If you're interested, I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere on this.
Yeah, for sure. We'll put a link. I'll definitely put a link so I can earn a dad hat too. But yeah, I would highly encourage everyone to subscribe. Taylor has a very interesting journey from what I've learned on starting his firm and growing his firm to where it is today. So appreciate it. I thank you for joining us, Taylor. Is there a best place? I know you're on Twitter and LinkedIn for people to follow you to kind of keep up besides the newsletter.
LinkedIn is becoming the place for sure. But Twitter, if you want accounting stuff and firm running stuff mixed in with some random personal stuff, Twitter might be the place to go.
Cool. Awesome, Taylor. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Luke.